It's your girl, VK Johannem, and the V stands for Vidian. Crack open a beer if you drink, because tonight I'm going to tell you the story of the fire god, the elbow, and the spy. Like many wild stories that men tell, this one starts with a girl. So I'm on social media, looking at my comments, my messages, all that. And I see a thirsty comment left by a woman. The woman was decent looking, seemed about my type, so I reach out to her. Start flirting a bit, start getting to know her a bit. And after a few days, she expresses an interest in having me fly out to visit her in Las Vegas. To do fun Las Vegas shit and, fuck her senseless. I'm like, well, I do love traveling. I have not been to Vegas at any point in my adult life. And I do like fucking people senseless. So I decided I should consider this offer. A few more days go by. I see some green flags that I really liked. I see some red-looking flags that I think I should talk to her about. And occasionally she would say something that would kind of sound like she might want to be more than just friends with benefits. Now, I hadn't caught feelings for her, but I had no reason to think I never would. I also had no reason to think I would catch feelings for her. So I'm thinking, hey, I should talk to her about these red-looking flags. I should see what she's trying to get. I should tell her that I can't promise a relationship, but that I'm not necessarily against it. And something weird happened, by the way. Early after meeting her, I asked if she drank. She said that she's what the cool kids call an alcoholic. She was 1 year sober. Very next day, she relapses on alcohol hard. Like drinking liquor right out the bottle. I don't think I can do that. Obviously, I'm not going to look down on somebody for drinking. But, it seemed a little sudden. I ignored it. Either way, I needed to have that big talk with her. But before I get the chance, I get a message from someone we're going to refer to as my source. My source, he was someone I'd heard of. I'd heard good things, mostly. So I answer, and he says, hey, you know that other occultist who's been trying to kill you with witchcraft for the past few months? I said, yeah, what about him? I heard about you meeting him. He said, well, he sent a spy. I'm like, a spy? Who? He shows me a picture of that girl I'd been talking to. It says, look, this person is reading off your texts to your rival. I'm like, huh. Now, I hadn't told anyone about this girl yet. She was still being evaluated, for fuck's sake. The only way to know that I was talking to her was to know her. So I said, okay, maybe this is a misunderstanding. Maybe she's just excitedly talking to a friend of hers about this guy that she's been talking to, and maybe she doesn't know he's a rival. So I say, all right, buddy, tell me what you overheard. Which of my messages did she share? He told me, and sure enough, this woman was a spy. She was trying to help a man kill me. So I start thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, there's two ways I can play this, both of which will help me achieve victory over my rival. And fortunately, I hadn't told her anything, compromising about myself, so I wasn't too worried. So I told my source, look, we have two options here for what I do next. Option A and option B both start the same way, but option B ends in a very, very chaotic manner. Since you found it in your heart to stick your neck out for little old me, I'm gonna let you choose which option I take. He chose option B. I asked if he was sure, and he said yeah. I was like, alright, but option B is gonna be a shit show. I'm gonna keep this going for a couple weeks. If you get hesitant and decide you wanna stick to option A, you can tell me that at any time. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'll go through with option B. I said, okay. He asked me to, warn him before I take the final step of option B. I said, alright, I'll keep you updated. So I pretended to develop romantic feelings for the spy. I told her that I had feelings for her. I said I didn't want to rush into a relationship, but that I wanted to treat her as a serious love interest, if she was willing. She said she had feelings for me too, and she was quite interested. So I lied to her, repeatedly. You see, a lot of my rival's friends are secretly my friends. I hear a lot. And she knew that. My rival knows that some of the people around him, are secretly on my side. He just doesn't know which. So I lie to the spy about which of my rival's friends are really my friends. I lie about what method of curse work I'm going to use against my rival. I lie and say that I have elbow problems. No real reason for the last one. It just seemed random enough. Fuck it. And since my texts were being read off to my rival, I began repeatedly referring to him as fat in my messages to the spy. To be clear, I am totally body positive. I don't want to be misunderstood. I just thought I might, trigger his eating disorder. And she, of course, feeds everything I tell her right to my rival, making him more paranoid, upsetting him, hopefully making him puke a bit. Oh. Thanks to my source, I realized something. The spy had tried to cast a coercive love spell on me when she started talking to me. Now, I have to put up a lot of real serious protections, I gotta be able to fuck up anybody who's casting on me before I even know who they are. This is a really, really cutthroat scene and a really, really cutthroat industry. Like, if you're cursing me and I have no idea, you're gonna be put through the ringer. I've made sure of it. I realized, damn, those nasty protections of mine blocked out a love spell. That's why she fucking relapsed. But I started getting hesitant about option B. Option B is a pretty mean thing to do to somebody, right? And I'm thinking, my rival is a chronic manipulator. He might be deceiving this poor girl. She might think she's doing the right thing. So I start casually talking shit about my rival to the spy. Showed her evidence that he abuses women, curses prepubescent children, that sort of thing. Because if she was just a naive girl being taken advantage of, that'd snap her out of it. But, according to my source, after being shown all that, she kept reading off my text to help my rival take me down. She deserved option B. So after 2 weeks of, pretending to have feelings for this woman, I text my source and say, okay, yo, the spy just told me she's having a super shit day and she's trying to drink away the pain. She won't tell me what about her day was so awful, but she's really upset. Tonight is the night for option B. Are you ready to go through with this? He said he was. So I call the spy. I'm like, hey, I really have to tell you something. She's like, look, I need some time to myself. I just need some time. I'm like, look, it's important, okay? It'll be quick, I promise. The night before we had our little video chat movie date, so-and-so told me that you were reading off my text to my rival. That's why I've been pretending to have feelings for you. Thanks for the nudes, though. I already leaked them online. Click, block. To be clear, I did not actually leak her nudes online. Like, I wouldn't do that to anybody. But convincing her that I did that I'm fine with. My conscience is clear. Now, that was the end of my role in option B. Now, the rest of the work was to be done by my rival's friends. The ones who are secretly my friends. My rival starts going off on random friends of his, thinking they betrayed him. Unfortunately, they were able to clear their name. But that didn't stop my associates from turning the entire clique against the spy. Straight up bullied her off social media. She lost, all of her friends. And there was one last step to take. That step is called the Conjuration of the Fire God. It's a ritual from the Necronomicon by Simon. I love that ritual. You should so start doing it. Especially if you're in this line of work. It's great. So basically, the Conjuration of the Fire God calls on 2 of the 50 spirits of the names of Marduk. What it does is block any malicious spell work directed at you, and both bind and destroy the person who casts them. It'll destroy multiple people at once if you're any good at what you do. You won't even need to know who's casting on you. The fire god will destroy him anyways. And that, my good friends, is how our story ends. Anyways, that's all for now. Have a great night and enjoy your immortality. Check out the link tree in the description below if you want a little more VK in your life.